I heard Tim Keller once preaching on this, and he said something that I thought was absolutely brilliant, and it came from the mouth of a seeker, if you like, if I can use that word, someone that was interested in the things of the gospel, but wasn't yet a believer. And this woman had been coming to a house group that Tim was leading. And after preaching very similarly in this house group, the woman came to him and said, "How come I don't hear this message in other churches? How come I don't hear other people preaching what you just preached? How come I just hear about this law and doing things and making sure I'm doing the right things and being a good person and obeying all the rules and not seeing these people, not hanging out with those people, and not wearing that kind of clothes and not watching that kind of movie and not listening to that kind of music and not associating with them? How come that's what I hear and I don't hear this message you're preaching?" And Tim, in genuineness, said, "I don't know. What do you think?" Great trick. "I don't know." Let's put the question back to you. Why do you think that is? And so the woman thinks about it for a moment and says, "You know what? You know why I think it is?" And he says, "No." She says, "If God's pleasure in me is about what I do to make him happy, then there's only a certain amount of stuff that he can ask me. There's a limit to what he can ask of me. Because it's conditional on what I do. It's a two-way contract where I do the right things and then he grants me the reward. And so there's only so much that he can ask of me at that point. But if he's done everything necessary on my behalf, there's no limit to what he can ask of me. In fact, there's nothing that I can give him to pay for such a rich reward. I would owe him everything. If it was purely, solely, and utterly about what he had done, not what I had contributed, then there's no limit to what he can ask of me. Because I owe him everything. If it's about what I did for him, he owes me. And there's only a limit to what he can ask. Do you see that? If I do, and then get the reward, he owes me the reward because I did. Right? So he owes me. He's my debtor. He's indebted to me at that point. But if I contributed nothing and will contribute nothing, then everything is from him. And there's no limit to what he can ask because it's all of grace. I did nothing to earn it, nothing to make myself worthy of it. He has gifted it to me by his grace and grace alone. I owe him everything. And there are some here who are going, "I don't get that." It's because you don't want to get it. Straight up, you don't want to. You don't want to. You want to make it about you. You want to make it about what you did. You want to make it about what you will do. You want to hold on to what you have to contribute in order to get from him because you want to make it about you. Stop making it about you. It's not about you. It's about him. Everything's about him. It's about his glory. It's about his goodness, his grace, his abundance of mercy, his lavishing of grace upon us. But we want to make it all about ourselves. We want to all about me. Oh, I'm so good. Oh, I'm so righteous. Oh, I did all the right things. Oh, I ticked all the right boxes. Look at me. I've got a clean shirt on. I managed to put a clean pair of pants on. What a good boy I am. Give me my reward, Lord. Give me what I deserve because I cleaned myself up real good for you. Or at the opposite end of that spectrum, I am just a worm. I can't do anything right. I am so filthy. I am so broken. I am so sinful. I couldn't possibly be loved by God. I couldn't possibly have all the rewards of the gospel. I couldn't possibly have self-pity. Give it up. Put away your self-pity. It is self-pity. And it's every bit as selfish as self-righteousness. In fact, it's exactly the same. The beauty of the gospel is that God, by his grace, has released us from self. To focus on him. To love him. To adore him. To receive grace from him. To walk in the Spirit and light and life and joy as a result. How do you think you can walk in the fullness of joy? You walk in the fullness of joy by not focusing on yourself. You are miserable because you are so wrapped up in yourself. Christ has died so that you may free yourself of yourself and be something new entirely, a child of the living God.